My name's Adam Kruchek. I'm a business support analyst for Bidfresh Limited. I currently work quite heavily in Podfather, which has recently been rolled out across all 12 depots in the group. And we are just about to start a new routing development, which again will be rolled out to all 12 depots. The routing development is a feature which Podfather are able to provide to us that allows us to give it all of our route information from any given depot. They are then able to put this into some sort of algorithm which gives us results to identify if these routes could be done in a much more efficient way. That might be regarding mileage for the vehicles or overall under usage for certain vehicles on a per depot by day basis. The problems depots faced before Podfather, they really were all about the paperwork. Deliveries before Podfather across the whole group were delivered on invoices, and invoices were signed for by customers as proof of delivery. That left it open to missing paperwork sometimes. Occasionally, for instance on days where there might be bad weather, paperwork could become quite damaged and unreadable. Those were the main sort of areas where the paperwork would sort of falter. The downside to not having Podfather, if you like.
I've had to adapt and learn to use Podfather. We log in with our details, name, vehicle registration, mileage, etc. And then we do our daily checklist. Instead of before, we used to put it on paper, but now it's all done electronically through the Podfather. Everything from warning lights to brake failures to oil warning lights, everything's on there, and then we just wait for everything to be uploaded onto it, our daily jobs, routes, etc. You've got the address of your customer, obviously the company's address. It'll take a couple of seconds obviously to fathom the best route out, and it's just a great little added tool, to be honest.
My name's Darren Lashbrook, I'm the transport manager here. I've been the transport manager the last 2 years. Before Podfather, it was 2 copies, invoices to customers. The only way I could trace a driver was actually phone him up. Now you can tell with Podfather there's only 1 copy, it's signed by the customer on the Podfather, and then basically I can find on route exactly where he is, so I can let the customer know straight away. Instead of phoning a driver, it would be 20 minutes away or half an hour away. Before, it was basically me trying to get hold of a driver. If he was in somewhere with poor reception, couldn't get hold of him for maybe an hour or so, so we could never give a definitive answer to the customer. As you open the app up on the Podfather on the delivery note, you'll come up first to being the items on the Podfather, what needs to be delivered. Sometimes the customer wouldn't want that item, so you wouldn't confirm it, so it'd be less red. And then you can get in for cash deliveries, you add the amount of cash in there. If you want to take a photograph, you go straight down to take a photo, take the photograph, press the tick button, and it's saved straight away. You can go back and take another photograph if you want as well. You can save 2 or 3 on there. Then the customer asks the customer's name, and he signs it off, and then you complete the job, and it's all done. As soon as I press the button, complete the job, it's done on the system for anybody in the sales team, any manager, anybody to look at. It's been delivered, who's done it, where it is, straight away. You're looking realistically of saving thousands of pounds a year and not duplicating paper. You've got 1 hard copy of paper, rest on a hard drive, which is a big advantage for the company for storage. It's worth doing because it cuts out a lot of administration to go and to find somebody else who's got the copy, the original copy. Now it's straightforward. Once you've done your drop, straight on, log on, there's customer, print it off, delivery notes. It's so much easier than the hassle of ringing up, going through hundreds and hundreds of delivery notes in that one day. Somebody in the sales team will have to go and look for it. It's there, straight on the screen, very beneficial.
The best thing about the Podfather is that it makes our life easier by it puts all our runs into order, so we know when we look at that phone, we know where we're going next. Obviously when we get to the restaurant, we make sure we've got all our fish and all our products that we need. If a customer allows us to leave the product, we can leave the product by putting it somewhere safe, taking a picture. The customer then knows that when he gets his invoice, that he gets a picture and he knows where his stock is kept.
Podfather being cloud-based, that allows much of our central operation to get into information. For instance, credit control can directly access a proof of delivery that may have been completed 6 months ago without actually making a call to the depot that's involved or requesting information by email. They can physically, with a few clicks, get that POD and have the information exactly what they want. And that filters through into fleet management as well. If it came to a vehicle check where a vehicle may have said to have had a light out or reported that a light was out, a fleet manager could check that from their desktop wherever they're sitting in the country. So the cloud-based thing is a real plus. Little things like being able to track their own order without making a call means it's less hassle. I think it's the information age where if you can't get it on your phone, it's pretty much too much hard work for people nowadays. So the fact that Chef can click on a link on an email and see where his delivery is without actually making a call or asking anybody a question, I think that's priceless to some customers, to be quite honest. The added benefits that come with it is your drivers are easier to manage, easier to track, again without lifting a phone up, so you're not disturbing a driver. A driver can keep delivering, the sales guys can keep selling, and ultimately it just improves the operation altogether, I think.